plant-based foods were always the do we have to do this food of American chefs, right? It was like, okay, I guess I can make you a avocado, tomato, and sprouts sandwich if you really want to ruin my day and shit on my soul, right?
Absolutely, 100%. It was, to be politically incorrect about it, the redheaded stepchild of all menus.
Until very, very recently, it was a dark age if you wanted to just eat plants.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome to San Diego Magazine's Happy Half Hour. That is kind of our keynote and topic for the day is plant-based eating, because we have one of my favorite people in the plant-based community in San Diego, somebody who I think absolutely changed the face of plant-based eating and dining and just restaurant culture 10 years ago when they opened. Let's do a little history first. Okay, so obviously certain cultures have been cooking vegetarian-based or largely vegetarian for millennia.
Yes, but everyone knows that veganism started in Berkeley in the 90s when you started putting...
Ani DeFranco invented veganism.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Okay, so we're exactly
It was
on the
either her
same
or
page.
Tracy Chapman. I can't remember. You have Indian food, which is largely vegetarian, obviously. Mediterranean, Thai, Middle Eastern, Japanese. And then vegan is... Here's the thing with vegan food. It didn't become a dirty word. It became too clean of a word for me.
I think that's fair.
You know what I mean?
It started to feel like it inherently contained a judgment, right?
Yeah, it felt like you were in a dive bar and somebody was trying to clean the bar while you were in it.
Yeah, it's an inherently also politicized word to that point. Like when you say plant-based versus vegan, you are actually saying two different things, because there's like a philosophy behind vegan, whereas plant-based is more of just like a mechanical thing, if that makes sense.
So I did a little bit of research in the history of vegetarian and vegan food. There weren't any meatless entrees on menus until the mid-1900s. The New York Public Library has a collection of some of the historical menus from across the United States. It got 50,000 of them.
How cool.
I know, and I got to give... a shout out to Veg News, which is largely the basis of all the facts that I'm going to give you. So there were all just like vegan tapas. It was like rice and celery and some walnuts on top.
Like Korean banchan, like the little dishes.
It was basically banchan. Yeah.
Okay.
If you were vegan in the 1800s, you were basically snorting salads. Or you're vegan, here's a potato. The word vegetarian didn't appear in anywhere across, as far as we know, until the 1840s. There was a vegetarian society in Manchester that started in 1847. I'm sure they were...
Manchester...
UK.
Oh. Wow. It's punk rock. They're always ahead of everything.
Yeah. The British invasion of vegetarianism. They started it.
I did not know that.
I'm sure that vegetarian society was super popular in 1847.
I can imagine. In industrial Manchester, Britain.
Yeah, right? They're like, what do you mean I'm not eating bangers and mash?
Yeah, I was gonna say something that I'm not gonna say. Anyway.
All right. So on U.S. menus, the word vegetarian doesn't show up until 1900 at Pure Food Cafe in Chicago. Right about that time, there was a lot of scandals in the meat industry, and there was the pure food movement, which was trying to expose all of those kinds of, really shitty things that were going on in the meat industry. And always with any food movement, war is a big help. War gave the U.S. pizza. It gave us the world banh mi when the French colonized Vietnam.
Spaghetti carbonara, which is decidedly not a vegetarian dish, but it is a wartime dish.
Yep. Gave us goat birria from Mexico when the Spaniards brought over the goats. Nutella was born during wartime chocolate shortage because chefs were like, hey, I make this chocolate spread. I don't have enough chocolate now because they took it from me because they need it for the war. What am I going to do? Let's use some hazelnut spread. And he invented obviously a worldwide classic. And then when meat was rationed during World War II, we started to see a lot more vegetarian dishes. There was also the depression cake because eggs and butter were under ration for the World War II too, also known as the crazy cake or the wacky cake.
Victory gardens, people growing their own veggies and stuff at home, which obviously didn't transform the food supply, but it did bring people closer to the supply chain, actually.
You had vegetables on your front lawn.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And those vegetables tasted better because you weren't getting them from like commodity places or shipped across the country or anything else. You're growing straight out of your garden, so they tasted great. You're like, I think I've been drastically underestimating this. Maybe I don't need 17 ribeyes over this week. I can take a couple carrots. All right. So 1950s and 1960s, the plant eaters got a huge thing in the advent of the avocado on American menus. Hard to believe that the avocado wasn't even a thing until the 1950s and 60s in American restaurants.
If you had asked me to pick the time when it landed on menus, I wouldn't be able to say it because I'm from the East Coast, wasn't part of my consciousness until a certain point. We got it later on the East Coast. And so I'm not surprised to hear that, but I also I wouldn't have been able to place it. So that's very fascinating.
And it didn't really boom until the 1990s when Mexican food took off across the country. And then in the 1970s to 2010s, you got the tofu boom. Tofu's first appearance is in 1984 at a Thai American menu on a restaurant in Minneapolis called The King and I. So you started to see everything at that point. You started to see tofu in multiple different ways. You were getting veggie burgers, veggie lasagnas, meatless chilies.
And this kind of dovetailed with New Age emergence culture in the United States, right? And yoga and other Eastern practices coming because Buddhism, quote unquote fake meat or tofu meat or seitan or tempeh or other types of meat substitutes, they were also partially brought in from the rest of other Eastern cultures coming in, again, through yoga or other practices. So those things kind of dovetail. That's why a lot of yoga studios, they'll have a vegetarian Thai or Vietnamese place and it's got Buddhist vibes because they, true blue Buddhists will not eat meat. So that all kind of came from the same place, right? And tofu was really the centerpiece of that.
Well, and I think honestly, this is why, I think I didn't actually love vegan food because one of the first in San Diego, you had the World Beat Center in Balboa Park. That was one of the first vegetarian restaurants in San Diego. You also had obviously I'm gonna mess up the name, Jyoti Binga.
Yeah, that's mostly how I would say it.
I think that's how you say it. That was for students of Sri Chinmoy. It was a very that was a meditative how to live your life kind of guru that people followed. And there was always this religious aspect to it. And if you think about even the names of restaurants in San Diego, Loving Hut.
Yeah.
I'm I don't know if look, I have nothing against spirituality and togetherness and loving, but Cafe Gratitude, you had to say a life affirmation. That's not necessarily how I want to eat.
Definitely goes through Buddhism and Hinduism and some of those traditions that are inherently meanness because you're not supposed to harm anything. So it's kind of an intense thing. You're wait, if I'm not eating this, am I not loving?
Right.
Am I not grateful?
I had no problem with those places, but I didn't feel inspired or they didn't speak to my latent punk rock heart. Right. Yeah. And then finally, that changed in San Diego when Kindred opened in South Park. It was a collaboration between Kory Stetina, who we'll meet today. He's going to be on air with us, tell us his story, just to open up 2 new restaurants. He's coming to Del Mar Wine and Food. He's going to be the anchor of our plant-based section at the Grand Tasting. He started this pop-up dinner series of vegetarianism and veganism, and he got support from our salon at CH Projects, and they opened up this place called Kindred in South Park. And it didn't feel like a nursery for better morals. It had doom metal and it felt like a creative place to eat that was all plant-based. And for me, that was what vegetarianism and vegan food and plant-based everything was missing.
And it is all kind of punk. You are fucking the system by choosing not to eat, by being into doom metal. It is actually all kind of radical and kind of intense. So it does make sense, but it just presents it in a very normal way. These are normal life choices.
Exactly.
You can just go into this beautiful environment and be aesthetically and sonically and orally and everything rocked.
Yep.
And it's just normal. And there's it's inherently radical, but they don't shove it in your face and up your ass. And you can just be there and enjoy it.
And that's where Kory learned, basically was exposed to vegetarianism was when he was in the punk rock and hardcore scene in the 1990s, right?
It totally makes sense.
It is a punk rock move. And I think just the disassociation with having to do the whole downward dog meditation set, again, I didn't want to eat there.
That doesn't appeal to me.
Yeah. Doom
metal appeals to me.
I wanted to go to a restaurant for fun. I didn't want to go to a restaurant for morals and learnings. I want to get my morals and learnings at church or other places.
Are you a big churchgoer?
It's been a while, Jack.
Troy gets his moral learnings at church.
It's about 45 years ago. Anyways, that's kind of our, modus operandi. We're going to talk about plant-based eating in San Diego when Kory comes in just a little bit. I mentioned Del Mar Wine and Food Festival. It is coming. You guys have heard me say it a lot. 3 events that I want you guys to pay attention to. Alex Morgan dinner. She's doing a Game Changers dinner to raise awareness for girls, leveling the playing field for girls and women everywhere. She's doing it at the Grand Del Mar. She has a James Beard nominee chef. She's got Claudia Sandoval from MasterChef. She's got another MasterChef. She's got somebody from Top Chef. It's going to be an amazing dinner called Game Changers. Go to delmar.wine. And then the after party on Saturday night with Michael Voltaggio. This is Cluckfest. It's going to be all chicken dishes. It's going to be, we have Crack Shack. We've got, I think I'm going to get Grand Ole Barbecue to do the turkey, like I said. Cali is definitely doing their Aleppo chicken. Travis Weichert's going to be there. Go to delmar.wine and get tickets for that. And then the grand tasting 13th to 14th. Okay, got it. You got it. The promo code for everybody who listens is
SDMAG15.
SDMAG15. Thank you so much for having exterior brains. This is the most beautiful day of my life. SDMAG15, SDMAG15. You get 15% off every single ticket that you purchase. And now, Jackie with the news.
All right, we've got beer news. I feel like we haven't had as much beer news the last few years as we had, the decade prior. And that's because the beer industry has sort of been like tapering down, leveling out, finding its new normal, if you will.
It is really just a finding new normal because beer exploded. Craft beer exploded.
It got a little overexposed.
In growth, and we got overexposed and everybody jumped in. And now it's just kind of right sizing.
Yeah, which all markets do that, right? So Schutz Beer takes over Bottle Craft in Oceanside. It started in 2021 by David Waite from Wrench and Rodent, Chris Slowey from Cultivate, and Surfer Chain Magnuson. So they're taking over the Bottle Craft Oceanside location where the whole concept actually began. The official license transfer happens today, August 20th, that we are recording. But so this will be last week when you're listening. Schutz will run the 30-tap bar and the retail shop. It's going to be very minimal changing aside from the signing. They're just going to host more community events tied to surf, skate, art, and music. Obviously, providing the beer. Bottle Craft founder Brian Jensen, he's staying on as a consultant, but he's shifting his focus to the new South Park bar that he owns, Bach. They also have a larger tap room and kitchen in Carlsbad Village area at the cottages. So, Schutz. Come back to Oceanside. Very exciting.
And David Waite, we talk about him enough on this podcast, but also behind Wrench and Rodent.
That's a good crew involved. It's stacked.
And the plot, that's a fantastic crew.
So Sugarfish, it's opening in San Diego. It's the LA-founded sushi chain from Chef Kazunori Nozawa and partners, and it's opening in Little Italy this spring. This is actually really big news because I feel like this has been part of LA pop culture, just the Sugarfish chain for like 15 or whatever years at this point. Like
it is a great operation.
It is. If you've read Perez Hilton or any gossip blog or been to LA or gone to a business lunch in LA or just like gone for a quick sushi dinner before you're going out for the night in LA, you've been to Sugarfish. They had like that prefix affordable sushi lunch menu that just had the right bite of it's like a little omakase. It was sort of like casual lunch on omakase for the everyday person.
You know how much shit I got in for this story?
I actually do, because I was on the Slack channel and I laughed really, really hard about it. And actually, I'm Team Troy, so tell the story. Tell the story.
Okay, so we did a story on Sugarfish coming in, and Sugarfish is a fantastic organization. The reason why they have a traditional sushi chef who is one of the best, like most beloved sushi chefs in Studio City for a long time. They've slow grown it. What they do is they do really high quality fish. I mean, it's super super high quality. But usually
Bruce Willis set one in LA once.
Usually when you sit next to Bruce Willis and eat this, you're going to spend out their nose for it. And what they figured out is how to do high quality for an affordable price. Like it's really, for the quality you're getting, it's a fantastic price. So our food news writer, Beth Demon, started out her article and mentioned how many sushi joints we had in San Diego and what they all did and everything else. And she went through it and said, what Sugarfish has been able to do is nail affordability for it. And I got a call from the publicist that was like, we do not want to be known for affordability. This is totally unacceptable. I would like you to change this right now. And I'm like
bummer. 1-800 not our problem.
Aren't you known for affordability?
Isn't
that a good thing?
She's
like, no, it needs to be quality. It needs to be this and everything else. And at one point, and she was really sweet. She was really sticking up for her clients and everything else. And I said, God bless you, but on this, I have to side with my writer. I'm like, she actually did a fantastic job. And we don't work for you. And I said,
and
I'm
another
sorry.
thing.
And we're just kind of telling a real story here. Is there something factually correct and incorrect that you'd like to change? And she's like, no, not really. I just like to change the whole tone of it. And she's like, I'd like to rewrite it. If you just send it to me and I rewrite it and put it on your website. And I said, nope, that's not
I'm
how
going to do that.
That's not how media works.
But still, I like Sugarfish. Every meal I've had there, it's good. So I like that it's affordable and also good. And I think we just need to reframe that in America. Like,
we do.
Just because it's expensive or bigger doesn't necessarily mean that it's better, and that's okay.
Yeah, and this is my love letter to that publicist. I look, they're coming to town. They're fantastic. Good,
we love them.
Good and go, but not rewriting the article. Okay, next.
All right, we've got more new things in Valle de Guadalupe. Valle is popping. There are also a ton of LA people and LA influencers going down there, which I have to admit, like, I get a little territorial about. I'm like, oh, this person's down there. Like, where were you the last 15 years?
It feels like there should be a checkpoint, a vibe checkpoint in San Diego before you come from LA and make it through to Valle de Guadalupe.
No, literally, like, I don't know. I feel
that is our vibes checkpoint. I'm advocating this on behalf of Valle de Guadalupe.
And listen, like, I know this is me just being like, oh man, the band that I love is getting pop. I'm being a little bit of a loser about it, but I am feeling a little territorial.
Nirvana in a tiny little club.
No, exactly. But there's stuff opening, and it really, really is cooking down there. So Mira Poolside opened this past July at Mira Earth Studios.
How do you spell that?
Mira, Mira Earth. So it's probably Mira.
Oh, Earth. Mira Earth. I thought you said Pulse.
Oh, Mira Poolside. Sorry.
Mira Poolside
opened at Mira Earth Studios, a sustainable boutique hotel in Valle. And this is actually really big news. I don't think we talked about it, but which is why I'm talking about it now. But it's led by chef Jose Luis Hinostroza of Arca in Tulum, which is one of Latin America's 50 best. And like, honestly, he's just one of the best cooks in the world, period. I've had this guy's food at Arca in Tulum and at other dinners around mainland Mexico. And honestly, this dude can just cook. He's a savant. He's so creative. Like, his stuff's amazing.
Awesome.
We're really stoked that we're getting him. So the menu's got seafood aguachiles, Brussels sprout tostadas, pickled mussels, shrimp tostadas, Wagyu pork DIY tacos, a fish sandwich, kind of like, but all very inspired and whimsical and with twists that you wouldn't expect. There's 30 Baja wines on the menu, vermouth spritzers on tap, which is like the coolest if you ask me, Mexican craft beer, cocktails from Mecenas Bar in Guadalajara, which is like a very, very hot bar. It's open daily, 11 a.m. to sunset. This is big news.
And if for some reason you guys haven't been able to hear of Valle de Guadalupe, I mean, no shame that we had a pandemic in the last 4 years. That kind of erased everybody's memory. It just did like the Control Alt Delete on a lot of stuff.
I used to go all the time, and I just don't anymore as much. So I'm part of that problem.
90 minutes across the border. It is the easiest drive that I've ever done,
and one of the coolest.
And it's one of the coolest. You drive right along the coast, you pass Rosarita, you hit Ensenada, you make a left up the hill, 15 minutes, and you've got basically a wine growing region with some of the best earthen architecture you're ever gonna see. I mean, it's just crazy cool. It looks like they built wineries on Tatooine. Yes. It's a desert. It's a desert with
straight up desert. We live in a desert, despite what it may look like and how much greenery we may put into it.
Absolutely. So go down and check that out. All right, what's next?
That's it.
Oh, that's it. All right, that's your news for today. Jackie does a fantastic job. I thought she was going to do more stuff.
I'm sorry.
No.
Well, see, the thing is that we recorded 2 days ago and I kind of ran out of news. And I went to go find more this morning, and I was actually pretty happy that I got those. I was like, whew.
We're not going to make up news.
Okay, these are solid stories, but we're a little bit in a news desert until we record again next
week. There was a brand called TNC Surf, which was every t-shirt that every 80s kid had when they were trying to pretend like they were a surfer in the 80s, especially when you're living in Rancho Penasquitos and Poway and you're so far removed from the actual beach culture that you want to kind of pose. They had all killer, no filler.
Yeah.
Was their slogan. Dude, that's what you get here on Happy Half Hour. Just a couple news bites that really matter. She's not going to make up crap.
Stick you in the heart. Change your life.
Change your life. That's the news. Check out SanDiegoMagazine.com. Check out our food news blog that's written by Beth Demon. She does a fantastic job of being on top of what's happening. And now it's time for our guest. One of my favorite people in San Diego, the founder, creator of Kindred in South Park, the founder and creator of Dreamboat and Vulture, just opened up in University Heights. Kory's coming in. And do you guys do bread? You don't do bread, do you?
We do make some fresh Parker House rolls.
That's right, Parker House. Okay.
Every day, fresh every day.
Okay.
And we all know that Caesar's popping.
It is.
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
Word on the street.
Yeah, you got to come Check it out.
I know. I will.
I'll try. Let me know when you do, and I'll try and make it for you.
Okay.
Your
that
dad,
would be
your dad
amazing.
or grandfather or uncle's Caesar?
Yeah, it's my grandfather's Caesar.
So cool.
Granddad Caesar.
Yeah.
Like whose granddad has a Caesar? Definitely not mine.
Yeah,
I think that's very cool.
I know.
It was a weird family tradition, I guess, where Grandpa always made Caesar salad for the family on Sundays for my dad when he was a kid. And so when I was growing up, my dad did the same thing.
This sword will be handed to you, young Kory.
And it's not like it's some secret family recipe. It's a pretty traditional classic Caesar. We're not like a culinary family in that regard.
Yeah.
But then obviously when I was the black sheep that went vegetarian when I was 14 and then vegan by 22.
How did that go over?
So,
well, because that would have been how many? I mean, you're not 75, 80 years old. You know, that's relatively
you went
recent.
vegan at like kind of a normal time,
I
right?
know.
In the
It
grand
wasn't such
annals
a
of
weird,
history.
this fringe thing at the time.
So yeah, it had been 1994, 1995 would have been the time. I do remember it
Early
being a
on the
little bit
curve.
of a
Yeah.
record scratch. I remember at like out to dinner with my Grandpa Joe, the Caesar we're talking about. You know, he got a little accidentally offended, you know, like, how do you know that lettuce does not have feelings? And I had no idea how to actually answer that question at that time. I was just like 14-year-old
this
punk
feels like
rock
a
kid.
big one.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know. I'm just trying this out. Like, you know.
I love Grandpa.
Yeah.
Let's
No,
get him on the
he
show.
was great.
Look, I'm not coming for you, Grandpa.
Yeah.
I'm not, man.
Like, this is just for me.
I'm just giving it a
Yeah,
shot.
totally.
All right.
Yeah. So I had to learn how to make the Caesar like vegan.
Yeah.
And then that kind of became my go-to. Like I made one for my wife on one of our first couple dates. You know, I kind of learned how to make it my thing too. So,
And what was the secret? Now we need to kind of back this up because the house-made Caesar, the tableside Caesar at Vulture, which just opened up, you know, is kind of, again, like
it's a
Jackie
thing.
said, it's a thing. It's a hit on the streets. I've had it. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
And it is the family recipe. How did you make, obviously, if you don't have your anchovies, you don't got, you know, I mean,
Or cheese or eggs. It's
Or
actually
cheese
the least
or
vegan
eggs.
salad
I know.
ever.
yes. So thankfully, Worcestershire without anchovies is regularly available. In fact,
Yeah.
I think some people are, you know, unless you're using the classic lean parents, there's a chance your Worcestershire is already vegan.
fish sauce, hold the fish.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. Then at various times, the cheese would just be like early on when I was making it, it'd just be like nutritional yeast, you
Yep.
know, that kind of secret weapon of vegan food.
You are a 90s vegan.
Yeah, totally. You got to. Yeah.
Nutritional
you get
yeast
it.
is like it's like the flaming hot Cheeto dust or the
Yeah.
truffle of vegetarianism
Yes.
or like plant
That yellow brag label. I seared into my
Totally,
brain
yeah.
forever. Yeah.
Yeah, or back then I would have to get it like in bulk at like Sprouts.
Oh, for sure.
Get it
And
from the bin.
through the back door.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'd always put some capers on top to kind of give some of that salinity
Sure.
of the anchovies.
Anchovy.
In the
Yeah.
brine.
But
Yeah.
but Chef Pancho, the chef of Vulture, like took that recipe to like another level. So we'd actually like grind up anchovies as we're making it, throw it in early
Make
on.
a mortar and pestle sort of like Big Bang Theory
Exactly.
underneath the dish.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's part of like building the dressing in the bowl, and that really is like
There's like a
what
garum
pops
thing
it.
going on.
Yeah.
Amazing what real chefs will do. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Exactly.
Imagine that.
No
It's a
offense,
skill.
Kory.
Yes, no, it's 100% the truth. I felt silly like making it for him the first time because
Sure.
I was like, I'd love to try and like honor.
You just come, you're like, and
Grandpa
here's what I do
Joe.
with the capers.
Yep. And also just like pouring the stuff out. I'm like, I put a little bit of this in. Okay, wait, let's just get a little bit more. Like he's like, hold on, let's get a scale.
like, bro.
Let's figure this out. Like, and then
Let's
he was
get a
like, I think we
scale.
should get the capers like in there. And I tried it and I was like,
Oh.
and now I make it that way.
Oh, yeah. No, that's
Yeah.
remarkably better. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And then we would have dusted it with like either nooch or sometimes there was some cool like vegan Parmesan, like, you know, topper stuff that you could get. But Chef makes a garbanzo flour kind of like fermented like Parmesan for Vulture that we now grade on top of
Cool.
And fermentation has been a huge help in terms of the flavor of plant-based eating
Yes.
too, right?
it. Yes, I know very little about it, including like how it, like what it's doing in our cheese.
Yep.
I just know that it's gorgeous. It tastes great. It's got that real sharp kind of cheesy flavor, and then we can put it in the refrigerator and get it hard enough to kind of really grate. You know,
Yeah,
just
you
like
think
classic.
about that funk.
God, that's so
Yeah.
fucking cool. Sorry, this is just science, living science.
Yeah.
This is so cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to back up. Now that we know the secret of the tableside, Kory Caesar, the family secret, which is no secret. It was pretty. It was just kind of like sporadically capery.
Well, and again, like a Caesar, I don't know if you need to recreate it. Like, I think I really was just trying my hardest to like make that bridge to still
Yep.
be able to enjoy Caesar salads.
But how
even though-
perfect that it's your thing. It actually is validly your family's thing. Happens to be like the thing of this town too. And it's also like in the larger zeitgeist, like Caesar salads are having a wider culinary moment yet again. So
Totally.
like kind of the universe is speaking to you
Caesar's
and through
gotta
you,
be
I
one of
think.
my favorite
100%.
inventions in the salad arts. I mean, Cobb salad's too much for me.
Agree.
Cobb salad is just like, I mean, it's like a protein like brain.
You know what? I'm good on hard boiled eggs pretty much all the time.
Oh, I love hard
No, I could extremely live without them.
I could just just a ton of salt. It's just like,
Soft boiled with like a jammy yolk, different situation. But a hard boiled egg, I could truly desperately live without. So Cobb
See-
salads, I'm really good on that.
You're like whatever a nice Coach purse is, or whatever purse is nice. I'm kind of like that handbag you get at Ross.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I need the Bottega Veneta.
Yeah.
Well, what I can tell you, what's really fun about the Caesar is that, you know, obviously, like you said, Caesars are ubiquitous.
Yeah.
But a lot of times we think of them as like creamy because restaurants are making them ahead of time. You got to keep it like, you know, the emulsifying, like, so making it like the traditional way, like table side from scratch. Like
Yeah.
a lot of times for people, they're trying that kind of classic, like that extra classic
It is
Caesar
different.
for the
Yep.
first time, because it's like you have to make it
Yeah.
fresh or else it's just going to separate, you know, a couple hours later it's like separated.
Oily
You
and
know.
clumpy
Yeah,
and
so-
not appetizing.
Yeah. So you got to make it creamy so you can
Yep.
kind of keep it together over time. That's what most restaurants have to do, including Kindred Caesar, which is delicious. So
Right, yeah.
there's definitely no shame there. It's
No
just
shame
that-
on your other
'cause
restaurant.
well, it's just because it's also kind of ludicrous to try and make it
Tableside all the
tableside
time.
all the time. Like we're still trying to kind of like figure out how to do that.
So they
you
make
know?
a whole tableside presentation. If you walk into Vulture, you walk through Dreamboat, and it's a beautiful little diner, and it's this cutest heck thing from the mid-century. You want to? It's like I want to say an Ed Norton painting, but that's wrong.
Norman.
What-
I think in Norman Rockwell.
Who did the diner with all the famous dead people in it?
Oh, I don't know
Is
who
it
did that one.
Not Norman Rockwell?
Oh God, it wasn't Norman Rockwell. Anyways, it's this cute little 1950s,
Ed Norton.
1960s diner.
Requiem for a Dream.
You
restaurant.
walk through, and there's just this beautiful, dark. I don't know how to describe it in my designer words that I don't
decadent.
have. You know, it's dark, but it's well lit. It's got these like big ceramic busts on the side, and it's just
It's lush.
This sexy continental room. You know, and it feels like this secret place where you can have a great tableside Caesar. And it's this whole presentation, the whole show, and that's bringing the show back to dinner. You know, is one
Yes.
of my favorite things.
Very
And
much.
did I see on Instagram, like yesterday or just the other day, that you have to buy another cart now?
Yes, we about 2 weeks in, we realized we needed to get a second
You were
little
undercarted?
custom cart. Yeah,
For the Caesar.
yeah, because it's a smaller cart than like. Well, actually, I don't know if you can even get like Caesar carts just like prefabbed. But then in our case, we had smaller kind of lanes, so we had to kind of make ours really efficient so that we could
Extra
hold
custom.
it somewhere. Because again, like putting a cart somewhere in a dining room is also a place you could put a table.
For
right?
sure.
So
And as a business owner who has to pay the rent, the mortgage, the employee insurance,
Yes.
everything, you're like, that could be one more money making table, but this fucking cart is really cute, and it's
Yes.
a really good experience.
So we geeked out on all the hand movements and where everything has to fit to get it as small as possible. And it took about 3 or 4 months to get made. We found a place that could like pull it off locally, kind of in the Riverside area.
Okay.
And then, but yeah, like
I feel like Riverside, they can build anything.
it possibly.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Just like, what do you need? I'll build it.
Scrappy.
Yeah.
Very scrappy.
Well, yeah, it's good. There's still like industry there, you know. So
Absolutely.
it's cool. And then yeah, like I think 3 or 4 weeks in, when we saw a board of like 26 tableside Caesar
Tableside
salads.
Caesars.
all right, we're gonna have to figure this out. Like,
We're going to need a bigger boat.
Yeah,
We're going to need a smaller boat.
totally.
And I also saw like whoever wrote the post, it's a really well written post. They were like, FYI, you can also order it and we'll just make it for you in the kitchen. Just wink, wink, nod, nod.
Yeah, well, and I think that's for, I would always order it table side,
Same.
but some people
Just want a salad.
yeah, or they kind of, maybe it's a date night. They don't want someone kind of hanging out with them for a little bit, So
I might be one of those people. I'm
Yeah.
like, can I just get the fucking salad? Like,
totally.
come on.
Or let's say
Jesse
you're coming
just
once,
found out you're going on dates. All right, right on.
or if it's like you're coming once a week, like maybe you don't need it
You've
table
done
side
it.
every time.
Right.
All right.
So
the beautiful conversation of tableside Caesar Arts. I'm going to go in reverse now. This is our guest for the day. He opened Kindred in South Park 10 years ago. They've been my best vegetarian restaurant in San Diego Magazine every year for 9 years for a goddamn reason, because they're amazing. The only restaurant from San Diego to be invited to Coachella, I believe that was 2017. We'd have to fact check that one. Even Kory himself is like, I think it is, but maybe not. But
Let's go with it.
it's at least one of the very few San Diego restaurants that have been invited. 2023, they opened up Mothership, which is a tropical spaceship crashing bar. It's just like, fever dream ayahuasca spacey thing. They've been named one of Esquire's best bars in America in 2023. Mothership was.
It's what Disney adults want Disney to be, and I mean that in a very, very
I
positive way.
take that as
You
a
know what
very
I mean?
positive way. Yeah.
Right.
Thank you.
It's so funny because I'm like, I don't know if you would take that in a
I know.
positive way
As
or
it was
not.
coming out of my mouth, I was like, shit.
I mean, when you grow up in San Diego, like, I don't know. I can't fight Disneyland. I love it.
I know.
And it's like
just creating other worlds.
Other worlds, it's
Totally.
world building.
yes.
One especially okay. I'm going to finish the intro because we are ADHD here, and now they've opened two new concepts: Dreamboat and Vulture, which you've been talking about. Welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so go back to that because you guys have created spots. Let's talk about Mothership really quickly.
Sure.
That was opened up. How many years ago now?
So 2023. So
2023.
Yeah, but I think we're going to be celebrating a 3-year anniversary soon.
3 years. It took over
Yeah.
this little dive bar in South Park, North Park. And there's like stalactites in there. There's the bathroom. It's one of the best bathrooms I've ever seen in my entire life. It reminds me of that one. Was it Hal? What was
So
it?
yeah, 2001: A Space Odyssey, very much the inspiration. For
2001
the
Space Odyssey,
bathroom.
all the red lights going up, and there's like mirrors so you can see it. It's like,
Yeah.
this is the most surreal bathroom experience you've ever had. There's one singular toilet in there.
I mean, the bathroom was kind of the inspiration for the story we ran about San Diego's bathrooms. Like that, it sort of like kicked off like,
Oh,
like
that's
these are
amazing.
spaces to activate too, right?
I know. Is at any point, and I know who your partner is. CH Projects has been, and our salon has been a backer and a partner of yours for
Yes.
a while.
Yeah.
And they love building things. They love creating remarkable things.
Yeah.
But was there any point where you're building this thing out? If you haven't been on Mothership, you got to go now. You're like, dude, is this too much?
Oh,
Is
there is a point in every single spot that we've built. Usually, because everything comes together at the last minute.
Yeah.
Right. So you got this thing in your head, and then you're about to open. All of a sudden, everything gets polished off right away. It's like it really happens in the last 2 or 3 weeks
Yeah.
because the majority of the time is plumbing and inside walls, and then so every spot, Kindred included, Vulture included. There's at least one, usually multiple moments where I am sitting in there, like by myself. I'm looking around. It's exactly like what was in my head, and
Fantastic.
then I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like, does this make sense? Like,
what did we do?
Like I was inspired along the way of how exciting it would be to be in a place like this.
Yep.
And then when you're actually in there and it's come together, you're like, what have I done? Is this going to translate to people?
This
Will
was
they
exactly
understand it?
my dream.
Yeah.
It was my dream, right, for everybody else.
Yeah, and I think to your point, like all the spots are kind of hard to explain. They're
As
they're
you
a
said,
little
I was
bit of
just-
multiple things.
You're just reaching for adjectives. I'm reaching for explosive adjectives every time I describe one of your
Yeah.
places.
Yeah.
You're like, it's this wild ayahuasca-y fever dream.
It's always visceral. There's
Yeah.
never one thing that encapsulates it, but it's very visceral, which to me is very human. Like they each have this individual weird, it's quirky. These things don't go together, but that's just like people in their brains, right? And so I
Yeah.
feel like it's this real distillation from the people who made it, and that's why I think it resonates so well.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard for me to kind of be in like one space. Like I get excited. Like the music I like is usually crossing genres or doing
Yeah.
unexpected things. The art I like is catches you off guard, and the places I like to be in are the same way. Like
Catches
I
you
like
off
when
guard.
something's like slightly off, but off enough that you're, I don't know, there's something kind of electric to it.
I think off guard or slightly off is a great name for your next restaurant.
Dude, right?
Yeah.
That's
Or your
off guard is a
memoir.
great way to say how the experience of most of your places. You go, oh, whoa, is that a demon head? But a shiny demon head, not just a
Yes.
demon head, a perfectly spit shined, beautiful with like flowers coming out of its head. This is in Kindred.
Well, that is the magic of Kindred, right? And it's what we were talking about in the intro and before with like 90s veganism. Like there is an American vegan consciousness still this stereotype of like the hippie lady with long blonde hair who wears tie-dye and Birkenstocks and cooks with nooch and like makes everything in her kitchen and is making like fig bars. And that directly contrasts with heavy metal. But actually all of those things ideologically like have similar roots in radicalism. And so it's like they don't seem like they go together, but they actually do go
Totally.
together. And that's why that's
And
another
that's
reason why
where
it
you
works.
came at, to your point, that's where you came to even plant-based eating, right? Was through like hardcore punk scene, right?
Yeah, through punk and hardcore, vegetarianism has had a place in the hardcore scene for a while. That's how I was exposed to it, like pamphlets at a show and reading, and this, like you said, I think it's related to some like other political and activist topics that were getting discussed in that punk rock scene at that time. And
Right.
for me, it clicked. And
Yep.
But again, like in a way that felt really right for me, but not. I've never been on a mission to I guess convert. I've been on a mission to maybe inspire
Yeah,
or
no
to
pontificating.
yeah, and our restaurants are kind of designed to do that as well. Like we often talk about like we're making vegan food for non-vegan people as much as we are for vegan people. Or Chef Pancho and I were just joking like when we were putting together the menu recently for Vulture. It's kind of what we're known for, this kind of like stick to your bones vegan food. It's rich. There's protein. We're not afraid of a little fat, and it's all important to just like building flavor profiles. But we're looking at our menu, and it's like we should probably put some vegan options on this menu because we're approaching vegan food like not from that traditional like super vegetable driven.
It always
way
has been
all the
very
time.
indulgent. Yeah.
Yeah, and the cool thing about indulgent vegan food is it's still a little lighter, right? So in Vulture, where we're playing around with this kind of mid-century continental kind of style that was known for like really rich buttery sauces, like we're doing all that stuff, but you still feel really good afterwards, and you're still indulging. Like and we've gone to great length to build all that flavor like in there.
Okay, well then let's talk about how I fucked up the article about your place. So
You did not fuck it up.
Well, no, I totally did, and I totally understand this. Okay, so Kory has built this, and he spent his entire life. You spent 6 years building that restaurant. That was you started this project, Vulture, and Dreamboat, which opened up in University Heights. Is again beautiful place, little diner going into a really kind of epic, dark, shadowy, Gothic room. Gothic maybe not be right. Whatever. I don't know my design words today. But 6 years you've been working on this thing. You've been busting your ass off, and we know each other really well. And I've always had a lot of respect for Kory. And we've kind of we speak the same language in a lot of how we approach food, art, culture. And the reason why we talked about this, and I was like, I'll do it right, man. I'm gonna do this one myself, and I called it a steakhouse. The headline was vegan steakhouse, and I could feel the record scratch on Kory's soul from like 6 miles away, and it was like, I want to justify it to myself because I was like, look, the earmarks here. You have a Diane. You've got an Oscar.
It's true.
You've got, Rockefellers. You've got a Stableside Caesar. Everything to me is giving steakhouse vibes. But you're like, that's the one thing, right, that you don't want to say, right?
Well, it's funny, since we kind of had that little chat and that happened, I don't know, I've kind of come around on it. I mean, I think my reaction originally was just like, oh, when non-vegan people hear that we think we can make vegan steak taste like steak, this will just upset them because that's not what we're trying to do.
Right.
But to your point with the word is like, there are so many other hallmarks to a steakhouse besides the steak. It is the lighting. It is the vibe. There's a ritual.
The other dishes, the sides.
The sides.
Smell the lamp oil.
Yeah, and we are definitely paying homage to steak dishes. We're just not trying to convince people that it tastes exactly like steak. We're not trying to say like, you won't notice the difference.
Right.
And so I think if you think about it as a a house that's trying to serve vegan steak, like vegan steak, I think is what is the record scratcher, right? Like
I love it.
But if you think about it as a steakhouse vibe that's serving vegan food,
Yeah.
I think it's actually a good description for what we're
It's like
doing there.
oxtail nutritional yeast.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I mean, but I think it's like those hallmarks of the steakhouse like ritual, that kind of American tradition is very much what we're kind of playing around with in this almost like slightly ironic, kind of kitschy way. It's like it's a bunch of punk rockers like wearing white jackets, and the playlist is kind of going everywhere from like ironic drops of like Phil Collins and Sade
thank God.
to like
Sir, there is
synthy
nothing
post-punk stuff.
wrong or ironic about Phil Collins. He's just great and awesome, straight down the road, amazing in every sense of the drum solo way.
I have a shirt that I wear often that says, it just says, "Do you like Phil Collins?" with a question mark. And I just spend my whole day having people just say yes.
Yes, as a matter of fact.
Or they'll ask me, and I'm like, "There's only one right answer."
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
it's kind of undeniable. But I think that's also kind of the
If
point.
you
It's
say
like,
no, you were the guy that was drowning in that song.
yeah. Yeah.
You know?
And I think there's just a lot of fun indulgence and guilty pleasures and kind of like, I don't know, ironic, kitschy playfulness to what we're trying to do.
And
at
speaking
Vulture.
of what we're trying to do, let's explain what we got on the table
I was
today.
going to say, what are we trying to do? We haven't
okay.
cheersed yet.
Give us a rundown. Let's start
Okay.
with our cocktails here.
Yeah, when you walk into Vulture, through that little back entrance, it's called a speakeasy, but we got a Vulture sign up there. Or
Yep.
I should say people call it a speakeasy, but we got a Vulture sign in the back. But it's deliberately kind of mysterious,
Yep.
but it's not like a hidden door kind of scenario.
Yeah.
We have our maitre d' sitting in Dreamboat right next to this door. It's still a little ominous in this like great mysteries.
Especially when you go from like antiseptically clean diner into this dark place.
Yes.
You're like that. This is my front facade. Hi, everybody. I'm
It's a
shiny
little
and I'm happy. And then you
Lynchian,
go,
right? It's a little David
Yes,
Lynch. Yeah.
it's deliberately meant to create a little bit of confusion so that you're like, I thought I was going to a place, but this is not where I thought I was going.
Yeah.
And then when you do kind of walk through that
In
that
utero.
little portal, you're kind of going like, wait, is this going to be the place that I hoped it would be? And then
yeah.
you kind of open up the curtain, and hopefully we've done a good job of this. Okay, I have arrived at where I'm
Yeah,
supposed to be.
yeah.
It's
And you
just like
have.
I had hoped it.
Absolutely have.
Like,
Talking Heads is playing. Am I like, is this my beautiful house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I forgot what your question was though.
So, well, the question was when you walk in, and I believe these cocktails.
So you walk right into the bar. What I think is really fun about the bar program we're doing, and Lucas Ryden, our cocktail and spirits manager, really just knocked it out of the park. I mean, we are doing exclusively classic cocktails.
Yeah.
As much as I love kind of what we do at Kindred with the like innovative, kind of really rad naming and like boundary pushing kind of stuff that we do.
Find this rare ingredient and do it in a way it hasn't been done. Yeah.
I think there's something really fun and refreshing and approachable about just having to choose from the classics. And we've got 38 of them on the menu. And
We're just going to do a couple.
So I guess
edited down
we're
menu.
starting with the Vulture Martini. We fussed over this thing for about a year. It's a blend of 3 gins and 4 vermouths. So gins are Suncliff gin, which adds this kind of like desert botanical kind of dusty complexity. That's kind of the like curveball.
Okay.
Tanqueray 10, which adds that grapefruit kind of citrusy vibe, and then Widge's gin, which is just a real like laid back, very easy drinking gin. I know. Sorry. Do you want
No,
me to
you're
choose
right.
you? 'Cause I feel
I'm hearing
like,
laid back and gin,
keep
and
on
I'm
going.
thinking
I'm not
gin
going
and
to let my
juice.
ADHD derail this.
all
You
right,
go.
awesome. And then we call it our continental vermouth blend. It's like a Spanish vermouth, a French vermouth, an Italian vermouth, and then an Italian Bianco vermouth that's got a little bit of that botanical bitterness that kind of plays the part of like orange bitters, which would be in a martini sometimes.
Yep.
So in this case, we hope we've made the most like crushable, fussed over martini in the city.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm a twist
Hey,
gal myself,
yeah.
so this
Salud,
is my
you guys.
platonic ideal.
A
Salud.
year-long R&D on this teeny tiny martini.
They're so little. It's lovely.
That is lovely.
It's so balanced. It
Damn.
just doesn't have any of the bite, which sometimes
And
you
it's
do
got a
want
little
with
bit of body
martini,
without
but-
being like that overly bodied. You know what I
Totally.
mean?
Yep.
It is-
It's still, it tastes kind of vermouth forward in a little way,
Yeah.
but it
Yes.
is a 2-to-1 build. I mean, it's a classic like gin
I'll
build.
go 50-50 sometimes, and I
will
definitely get
too.
side-eyed. But
Yeah, I will
that's
too.
because I love
so,
vermouth. Yeah.
Yeah, so and then you can get the house martini like 3 different ways. So you can get it tiny style like we're having, which I love because like the martini is, even though I drink a martini,
Yeah.
like it's a formidable drink.
Yeah.
It's very direct.
No, it's a relationship.
It wakes you up right away. I
Yeah.
mean, it gives you a little punch.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes they're quite large. So it's kind of fun to be able to have this tiny little kind of 2-ouncer.
Well, it's a taster,
Yeah.
right? It's a tapastini.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so that's real fun. And then you can get it just a traditional, and then we serve it, we call it the works,
Okay.
which is a 1.5 times pour. It's on this like beautiful tray with it comes with its own potato pave with truffle
Mm-hmm.
caviar and horseradish creme fraiche. It's like a whole little mini situation.
Oh, yeah.
And then some accoutrements like Gordal olives and some pickled veg.
Yeah.
And we kind of put it in front of you in this ornate tray and like pour
Angels
it
sing.
for you. Yeah,
This is the way drinking should be. It should come with treats and accoutrements
Yeah.
and little fussy things. This is what I love about weed culture, is that it has all its gear and paraphernalia and its rituals.
What if
I
we are
love
not
this.
for a gear and paraphernalia? I mean, there's ceremony and then there's eating. And look, I like eating shit out of a window in a bag.
I like that
do,
too, to be
but
fair.
that's not. There's 2 different dining experiences, and when you spend, a year and a half or 5 years or 6 years in your case, building out a restaurant that's, as an incredible an experience as you possibly can make it, the fucking tray matters.
Yes.
That
Yes.
little, the side dishes, the little details matter.
Well, and we also don't really make it easy on ourselves because like the goal really was like, can we make a classic gin martini, not a dirty martini, like the best selling drink on the menu?
Yeah.
Like in
have
a
you
city
done-
where refreshing cocktails like rain.
Yeah.
And we have.
Oh,
yeah,
it is?
Yeah,
Nice.
we have.
All right.
Yeah. Now with its 3, yeah.
We did it.
Which is actually a good segue to the martini with Brian.
I was
Yeah.
like, which one? I've been
because
staring at this one.
No shame against a dirty martini. But the term dirty martini, I understand, is more of an 80s term. But back in the day, you'd hear of FDR drinking a martini with brine. So it is still a way that martinis have been enjoyed for
forever.
a very long time.
Yeah.
In our case, again, 2 gins, a little bit of that continental vermouth blend, and then what really like steals the show here is like a Gordal olive brine, which I had to learn about. Like my team brought them to me, but it's this Spanish olive, like extra buttery, kind of fatty.
Okay.
And so it adds a
I
body
don't-
to it. It's a little less like of a kind of a vinegar stinging flavor. Sorry, I interrupted you too.
Oh no! Well, I'm with you.
Yeah, yeah.
I actually, and I study a lot of food. I haven't had a Gordal. I'm not familiar with the good Gordal arts.
They are insanely good, and we have to tell the team, we have to remind them on a daily basis when they are prepping, you cannot eat those olives. They are very expensive because it's a very common like bar prep thing. Sure. Like, okay, here, I'll pop a couple olives. Yeah. So, and then to top this one off, this is an everything bagel spiced olive oil that Lucas drops on the top.
I was like, there's something in here that I can't quite
Yeah.
figure it out because
Yeah.
the olive I
Oh
got
my
instantly.
God, it is.
It's so good. I was
Yep.
like, what is going on here? I love it. but I
Everything
can't.
bagel spiced olive oil.
How cool.
So
on
if
the
you
top.
and so I said the classic martini is the best seller. It takes all 3 of the modes of that to get to the top, but the second best selling cocktail is definitely the martini with brine.
Nice. That's
So-
phenomenal.
How cool.
Okay, and then third one.
Third one is just like more of a personal pet favorite drink. This is a Martinez, which is thought to be the godfather of
That was the
martini.
original. Yeah.
Yeah. Some say it maybe came from the Manhattan
Uh-huh.
riff along but it predates the martini by about 10 years.
Yep.
Gin, sweet vermouth, and then normally a little bit of maraschino liqueur, sometimes a bar spoon, sometimes a 1/4 ounce, and then cherry. So, and then Boker's bitters back then, which they still make a version of it. It's like very orange peel forward. In this case, we took an orange bitters and we steeped
yeah.
breakfast English breakfast tea
Yeah, dude.
inside of it.
This
Orange-based-
is my
Yeah.
drink.
Oh, that is.
I'm a big sweet vermouth drinker. I used to live in Spain. I used to live in Barcelona. I used to write about
Holy
red vermouth all the
shit,
time.
that's
So
great.
like this,
Yeah, same.
for me, because I love martinis, I love gins, I love
Yeah.
all. This is my
My-
And you're
platonic
tasting
ideal.
a Spanish gin and a Spanish vermouth. In there.
Okay, so Claire would absolutely be the dirty for sure.
Yeah.
And everything bagel seasoning in that is phenomenal. But I mean, that thing speaks to my soul.
That's
I mean,
for
actually,
me.
and the
I
red
love them
version
all.
martini too.
Yeah.
They all speak to me in like a different way, but it's just the red. And the orange peel in the vermouth. Like when you go to Spain, especially when you go to Catalonia, like they do the orange peel in the red vermouth. Like that's the whole
And
thing.
I think the Martinez is kind of a forgotten classic in my
Yeah.
opinion. And I
Yeah.
think it's like when you think about how popular the Negroni has become, I'm kind of like, I think we can get Negroni drinkers to enjoy a Martinez.
You're right.
Because, yeah, it's missing Campari. That is very crucial.
Sure.
But you're still with gin and sweet vermouth
But this is also
And
like, that's Italian culture supremacy in America, right? Like we have to kind of push the other European continental cultures that have similar but different,
Yeah.
and this is like the perfect example of
Yeah.
that. I love it so much.
What kind of psycho are you that you spent a year and like 4 different vermouths trying to make the perfect martini?
I'm so happy. This is
It's a tough job, but somebody has to try and do it. Somebody has to try and create the most fussed over martini.
Somebody's got to be obsessive and really
Yeah.
nerdy and beautiful mind about this. Because if you think about, 4 different vermouths,
4 different
2
vermouth.
gins,
3.
3 gins.
Yeah.
The amount of math behind that, the combination potential right there, I think is in the
That's
tens
also
of
very
thousands.
expensive to R&D.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you do 4 different, 6 different ingredients. You know, the potential there is like tens of thousands of numerically.
Well, and what we do though, that to your point though, and this is something that I think has been getting embraced more and more in like the modern wave of cocktails, is that we freezer door it. We get it. We basically bottle it ahead of time, and we get it into a freezer, so it is the perfect temperature. In some cases, in most cases, and in our case, colder than stirring it, so you can like perfect the temperature.
Yep.
Also a critical ingredient in a martini.
absolutely, for sure.
And then most importantly, as fun as it is to see a really talented bartender kind of do their thing and put on their show, I think like now also as we all think about more about like service and hospitality, like getting a drink fast
Quick.
is really important.
yeah, right.
You know, and especially
Jackie's-
at Vulture, we want that martini like in your hands, like really, really quickly.
Thank
in
God.
fact, the first thing that happens when you walk into Vulture is we try and get you a little mini champagne cocktail.
Yes, I
Like
agree.
that's the first thing on the menu is like, let us get you bubbles to start right away. Our server can serve it to you, and it's on your table within within like a minute and a half or 2
hospitality.
minutes.
Okay,
Yeah.
that is does not surprise me that you have a phenomenal 3 martinis, teeny tiny martinis that you can order. Which again, that's a way that what was that song? Teeny tiny,
Itsy bitsy,
itsy bitsy, teeny weeny,
teeny polka dot, yellow polka dot bikini.
There it is.
got there.
That's the version of this. That's what it is. Right
He's
there.
not convinced.
You know, we're talking about martinis and not bikinis, right, Troy?
They rhyme, Corey. All right.
How many of those have you had?
Somehow my mind.
This is a creative brainstorming session over martinis, okay?
Oh, I
Or it's
love
a
you,
really
dude. I love you,
base,
dude.
uncreative, like 1980s bikini Troy came out.
It does rhyme.
It does.
Yes,
It does.
and the word ends the same way.
But I do want to talk about. So you have these beautiful martinis. Really quickly, what is this? Because that's delicious. That's basically a mushroom pâté.
It's a mushroom pâté.
Okay.
3 mushrooms in there: oyster, cremini, and shiitake, pulverized with some walnut. We're really using the walnut to give it that fattiness as well. And again, like that's kind of how we are approaching
That
vegan food.
emulsifies it, right?
Exactly, and it adds a richness that just pulverizing mushrooms would not normally do. It's topped with a date and black garlic mostarda, and then walnuts on top with some grilled French sourdough.
phenomenal.
So one of the many hors d'oeuvres on the menu, like really crucial to what we're doing at Vulture, is the wood grill. Not many vegan restaurants out there have been able to invest in something like that, but it is crucial in my opinion for adding like depths of flavor to
There are 400, I forget how many, I believe it's 400 flavanols that wood burning grills have that you don't get from a gas stove.
shit.
That's why wood burning steakhouses, sorry, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Corey's as you can tell,
Corey's
I'm
not that kind of
embracing it
precious.
now. I think we need to keep on. I think we need to keep on. using
But
it.
that's why.
Vegan
But that's
steakhouse.
why any kind of wood burning grill, I mean, whether or not you're a steakhouse or not, it always has more flavor because there's just that many more flavor compounds in burning wood.
I actually didn't quite realize all of that, and it makes sense because even people cooking with meat, like the meat enthusiasts, they like the ones who cook with wood are religious about it.
Well, and for me, like this goes back to like I don't know, whenever Trust opened.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I had their. I can't even remember what it was. It's either the broccolini or it's collini. It might be a grilled collini.
Was it the one with yogurt?
He does both, and he did a roasted broccoli that actually changed people's minds about broccoli across the
it might have been that.
Yeah.
I just know that I had to hold the yogurt when I was there.
Yeah.
But when I tasted that vegetable on that grill, I was like, this is the best preparation of vegetables I've ever had.
Yeah.
You know,
So you have a wood burning vegan plant based restaurant. I mean, which again is there's probably not too many.
Again, I got to be careful, like the Coachella thing, to say we're the first
I don't
ever.
know, yeah.
But again,
Not
we
aware.
probably are not.
Sure.
But I know that we're one of the few. We're definitely the only in San Diego.
Yeah,
you know, and so we couldn't bring that here today, obviously. But that's kind of what I was saying is that the pâté is one of the hors d'oeuvres
believe you.
that is doesn't require the grill.
Okay,
and that
got
I could
it.
bring
That's
to you
so
all
cool.
today.
Yeah.
Yeah, but meaning really a lot of the gems of Vulture, you have to get inside. You know, you can't bring it.
Right,
out of
exactly.
the restaurant.
We
Yeah.
asked him to bring in treats just so we can talk about them and gawk at them and to get free food. But we also, you do have to experience almost everything that we have on this show. I mean, go in and actually take it when it's.
You're right.
when it's-
Which I'm sorry, but that's also part of the steakhouse experience. You can't do takeout in a steakhouse. Trust me, I tried during COVID. I got Benihana. I got some of the downtown spots. I did like
Yeah.
all the takeouts just because I was curious what the takeout experience was.
Yeah.
You got to go to the steakhouse to do it. So I feel like you got to go to Vulture to do the full experience.
We're really
right?
leaning into the steakhouse.
I know.
right
I'm
now.
so sorry, but it
No,
really is such a big cultural parallel.
Again, I do think it like we can kind of geek out on this whole like mid-century continental fine dining. It's true. It's also a mouthful,
Right,
You know,
right,
and I do think there's a chance that when you think about the steakhouse in terms of the environment, I think it helps people
recreate.
understand like what we're providing.
Yeah, and I love
You're
that.
not trying to recreate the steak. You're like this tastes just as good as a ribeye. Whatever. You're
Exactly.
like, no.
We are not here to pretend that it tastes the same.
Right. But the
we're-
earmarkings of that experience.
Correct. And then I think we've done something equally exciting, just like with different ingredients, that is still real thrilling to eat.
Yuzu koshu on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Remember we talked about this. The chef has
Oh, shiokoji.
shiokoji.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Shiokoji.
Yeah.
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 So shiokoji is a kind of a secret weapon when you're cooking with anything. It doesn't matter what it is.
And he uses mushroom powder a lot, and he uses Malden salt a lot, and he likes to call it his holy trinity.
That's a mirepoix. That's a great mirepoix for plant-based cooking.
Yeah.
I do want to address one of the things that so when Vulture opened, because it's so nicely built, and because you spent so much time on it, and obviously intention in the decor, people kind of like thought that it was. It's a special night out. It's like I can only come here if I'm planning on having, my nicest shoes, my nicest pants, my nicest purse, whatever.
Date night.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and that's definitely something that Vulture is great for.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the other night it was like we were preparing cards for the special occasions that we all sign.
Yeah.
And I think there was like 18 or 19
Oh, wow.
anniversaries or birthdays.
And already, that's that they're choosing to spend their special night with you is nice, but
And I
that's
love
not
that.
it.
Sometimes we'll point out the space because a lot of times people walk into Dreamboat and they'll just, can I just peek my head in? Like before Vulture opens.
Yeah.
And then they'll say, well, we'll come back and we'll make sure to get dressed up.
Uh-huh.
And we're like, you can do that, but you do not need to do that. There is no dress code here. I mean, again, I think that like at the end of the day, like we're not entirely fancy people. Like we're like punk rockers.
Same,
like
bro.
There's some
in San
playful
Diego.
irony to what we're trying to do.
Right.
And still like an allegiance to trying to do something special and let's just call it like elevated.
Yeah.
But
You have a Phil Collins t-shirt, and that would be welcome in Vulture.
Yes, absolutely. But I don't know if like fine dining would be the right word. I think it's like I think elevated is a fun word, but because of that, there's paths in the restaurant to, get in and get out for $45 for two people,
Yeah, exactly. You can
without
go
cocktails
in,
and
stop in at 5:30, go to the bar, get a couple teeny tinies.
totally.
Add a couple apps.
And I think it's also, again, we love to just make things difficult on ourselves. It's also when you've hidden a large restaurant in the back of a small diner that's on the storefront. It's
much walk by traffic?
Yeah, exactly. It's not like somebody can like peek their head in and say like, oh, let's check that place out, or what is like, Kindred's like right on that corner, with like that whole open air thing. You're like, what is that? Vulture is just, it's deliberately like that. But I think it doesn't allow people to necessarily like understand exactly what it is until they've gone in there. So we get lots of folks that, I love restaurants that you can simultaneously get dressed up for those special occasions and do multiple courses and do the wine and the dessert drinks. That's another thing we really run wild with at Vulture. But there's still a lot of restaurants that do that. You still feel comfortable walking in a t-shirt.
Well, and that's and that was one of the things that when Kory walked in today, and Kindred obviously is one of those places where you can walk in and all your tattoos and all your glory, and just feel comfortable no matter what you're at. I mean, you can be fully dressed, you can be, and just your casual Saturdays.
I'm going to go with just my tattoos, nothing else.
Just your tattoos. I imagine you would be welcome, to be quite honest with you. I mean, it would kind of be your.
I'm going to do it.
It would be your. Oh God, what is the name of the actress? Has the most beautiful look in the entire world. She slept in public in New York behind a plate of glass.
Is it? I know who you're talking
God,
about.
White blonde hair. Oh,
it's not that.
Oh, come on,
artist,
anybody. She's like an performance artist and actress at the same time. Anybody?
Tilda Swinton.
Yes.
She
Tilda
did it.
Swinton.
Really?
That would be
she's
very
scary and
Tilda-
androgynous. She's like kind of one of my style icons.
She would kind of be, that'd be very Tilda Swinton.
She's rad, but I don't know that story.
So
That's
when
cool.
Kory walked in and he was like, look, we created this amazing place, but I think that I want people to know that they can just fucking come in earlier, it's done great and you have a great crowd and you've got the special occasions and everything else. But he was like, that's the one thing. And we heard this of the Chivico 1845 brothers when they opened up Il Dandy. They'd created this thing where they had a Michelin star chef, they had everything else, and but they also had this place where it was very like, dude, come on in, and you're like, it doesn't matter, like you don't have to have a big night out.
Problem, right? Like I do feel like there is some kind of, and I say this as a San Diegan with love for San Diegans, a little bit of an inferiority complex when something's a little bit too, and I speak to it as like the haterism of San Diego sometimes. Like when something is a little too nice, I feel like some San Diegans are like, I can't look at it, it's too nice now. It's not casual enough. Like it's not, and so I feel like a little bit they have to be made to feel comfortable. Like this is for you too, just because this is such a laid back town that I think we just need to inspire people. Like you can have your nice treats too, and that's very San Diego as well. Like it's okay to have really good food in a nice place, and you can still wear your flip flops, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the way I see it.
And our thing has always been kind of, to your point, like especially serving vegan food to non-vegan people. Our thing has always been about just meeting people where they are.
Yeah.
You don't need to convert to veganism to eat at our restaurant. We're not going to put any quotes on the wall that are meant to kind of add like pressure to that, or like we just want to inspire you, give you a good meal, take good care of you, serve you some good drinks, and share what we're excited about.
Yep.
And I think the same thing goes with Vulture too, is that we want to provide those special occasions, but we also want it to be a place that you can kind of stroll into.
Well, and again, this is why I've named you the best vegan restaurant in San Diego, or vegetarian restaurant in San Diego for 9 years in a row, because I'm an omnivore. I'd have to quit my job if I wasn't,
That's true.
But it made me feel comfortable. This is not to shit on we talked about this in the opening. This is not to shit on anybody who has a spiritual place where they are very message driven and their veganism.
Of course.
The politics of it, et
you've
cetera.
never said anything. We've known each other for a long time. You've never said anything bad about any of those kinds of places. But I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that it felt to me like you were like, what if we created a place that didn't have the overarching, like, this is a way of life. You need to understand this. You should come over to the light sort of way.
Yeah.
It was more just like, this is just a cool place. You know what I mean? I have my own morals and values, you know, and there's a people that share those, you know, and that's going to be a large portion of my, you know, clientele. But everyone, if you eat steak every morning for breakfast, you're still going to like to eat at Kindred.
Yeah, I also think, to your point, and I think I don't know if it's a mission as much as it is just me personally. I'm just kind of allergic to evangelism in any kind of way.
Same.
And as soon as
anything,
and as much as I love subcultures, as soon as I can start to feel the bubble forming, I kind of want to get out.
I think most people are like that, actually.
Yeah, I mean, so like I think, in the punk rock scene, I was also the one that was excited about starting a business or something, you know. So it's kind of a little bit of the like black sheep there. But in a business world, I'm just like NBA business jargon. I just like makes my skin crawl, you know. And I think.
But also being too crunchy is not the way for you either. It's a more, you take a little bit from everything that you've experienced, right?
Yeah, and I think with the best of intentions, a lot of times vegan restaurants feel like they are kind of, or can feel like they are houses of the holy. Like you must be vegan to come in here, and you must, you know, reconsider your life choices, you know, like as
even
result.
just to cross the threshold. It can be intimidating even just to go there, right?
Well, and I've never been like super comfortable in that bubble either. In fact, I mean, yes, I have friends that are vegan, but most of the important people in my life are not vegan. I understand I live in a
including your wife, right?
Yes, my wife. Yeah. Arslan will say that's the most interesting thing about me is that my wife is not vegan. he'll tease me in that, but I take it and I like it, and I think we understand that we're not in a vegan world. We're not necessarily making that the overarching message of our restaurants, you know.
Well, I think, look, and whether or not it's my own, you know, mental traumas or whatever, but I mean, there's a lot of vegan restaurants that I came into, and I did feel that. I was like, wow, I feel like I am being preached to, and I think there was a real resistance for myself. I'm like, look, I don't care what your message is. I don't care if I believe in that message at the corner of my heart so much. If I believe that Elton John is the best damn musician that ever lived, he was.
Yes.
You know, he is. Excuse me.
I was going to say shit.
I know. Okay, Dolly Parton's close. But you know, if I believe that in my heart, I still don't want somebody preaching that really, really hard.
See, I see it as a challenge. I'm totally the opposite. When that happens, I'm a little bit like, oh, if you feel so strongly, like I must interrogate it and investigate it. And this is why I like pick up so many things. And so it has but I think more of the point, right, is you're just serving a good meal. And it's like removing everything from it and presenting it. And you just want people to approach it for what it is, right? Like objectively for what the dish is on the table, not necessarily what it's compared to or what came before it.
Yeah. Or again, like what I have always enjoyed about going to my favorite restaurants is I do think people go out to eat to escape, and I know it sounds kind of cliche, but I think that's what it's.
One of the only reasons.
Exactly.
I think it's cliche. I think it's just
aside from not washing your own dishes.
True. Yeah. And I mean, we kind of like to own that more than anything else.
Yeah.
You know, and again,
you guys have fucking nailed it.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. No doubt on that one.
I appreciate it.
I have one question. Just talking about how people can come in casually and just order. Do you have girl dinner? Like, do you have a Caesar, a martini, and French fries?
Oh, all together, like kind of in a package. It's funny. We've been talking about something
I
like
had to
that.
ask.
Yeah. Well, there's French fries at Dreamboat, so I don't know. You might be onto something.
Just wondering.
Well,
we do have a potato pave on the menu that's kind of like patatas bravas inspired. So Caesar with some.
Just wondering.
Yeah, potato pave. Yeah, I think we got that.
So you're coming up on 10 years of Kindred. I remember when Guy's team called me and they asked me where you should go. And they were already on to you guys because your chef at the time had cooked on Guys Grocery Games, Dylan. But I was like, you got to go check it out. You got to go to Mothership for sure. So we went in there that one day and Guy filmed. Tony Hawk was there, which was...
I forgot about this day.
It was awesome for diners, drive-ins, and dives. And we were all kind of checking out. I was just really glad to see that he was there. And, you know, and he's his sister who passed, was vegetarian as well. So he had a lot of experience. He actually, believe it or not, Guy Fieri, he grew up with hippie parents. Like, I mean, mostly
Santa Rosa,
largely
right?
vegetarian. Santa Rosa, yeah.
He knew a lot about vegan food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he would get twigs and berries back in the bad vegetarianism days.
Yes, I remember a version of those days. For sure.
I mean, it was the dark arts, man. It was bad for a long time.
Yes.
That's actually the most interesting fact about him, I think.
I know. You don't think about that because when you think about barbecue, when you think about Guy,
that was so much fun. But yeah, that was also. I mean, it was so surreal. Yeah, like Tony, like especially because right off the bat was right when like Guy and Tony arrived, and it was kind of just like we went immediately into taping. And here I am just like standing in the restaurant with like Tony on one side, Guy on the other. And it's just like, what on earth is happening
right now?
Yeah. But it was so much fun. It was super cool.
And Tony still keeps in touch too, huh? Calls.
Yeah. He pops into the restaurant now and again. And, we'll chat every once in a while through Instagram, but
secretly he's one of the biggest restaurateurs in San Diego. We've talked about that. Like, he's invested in a bunch of restaurants. He's helped a bunch of like food and drink people get their stuff off the ground.
And I think he gets it too, because again, like you mentioned, there's kind of roots for vegetarian stuff in different cultures, but yeah, like punk and skating hand in hand with a lot of that. I think again, I think he brought vegan friends to Kindred multiple times.
I guess you're right. It really was the activism part of punk rock. Because I was in the punk rock scene
That's
for a long time.
how I came into it, all through hippies or punks.
Yeah.
Truthfully, and I do not subscribe, but how I came, into knowing about.
And I was drawn to the punk rock side of vegetarianism or any kind of activity that more so than the hippie, and nothing wrong with hippies. I love hippies. But my mom's a hippie,
Hippies truly trigger Troy, and I kind of love it. Like, as a super weed person.
I'm like, this feels all vaguely mom to me.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a mom thing. Yeah.
There's some serious mom issues here.
No, this is actually good to know because I have a young son to like head it off at the pass,
If you could dress him in black, please, that'd be great.
That's amazing.
But to you said, the point about bringing up Guy and Tony, which is a cool thing to have in your restaurant, and all the accolades that you guys have gotten. But I mean, 10 years in, looking back now, I genuinely, and I know you wouldn't say this about yourself, but I really think that it changed the attitude of plant-based eaters about plant-based food when Kindred opened.
Oh, thank you.
And that's why, I've had so much. I'm like, that's great because we all. Look, as much as I have to eat meat for my job, I try to eat VB6, vegetarian before 6 most of the days of my life.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I mean, Michael Pollan kind of turned me on to that a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I mean, and then I'll have meat. Again, I get my protein near the end of the day.
We don't really cook meat at home intentionally for the same kind of reasons.
And I don't want my meatless dishes to suck, and I want to be able to go to a restaurant where it doesn't feel like I've joined a religion. It doesn't feel like I'm now, you have to take an oath to come in here.
Totally.
And that was what Kindred did. Looking back on it now, what are you most proud of? 10 years in.
Well, that's a good question. I mean, to be
surviving
opening our third restaurant, or fourth if you count Dreamboat as a fourth, I could have never imagined it happening.
Yeah.
I think to your point, when I was opening up Kindred, I had a feeling it would look like a punk rock show in terms of the clientele.
Yeah.
And
Not that I was deliberately trying to do that. I just those are the people that are like going to get what we're trying to do here. But it was immediately such a wide range of ages and cultures and people. And I think we've really been embraced in a way that I could have never imagined. I kind of stumbled into the industry in the first place, but so to be here 10 years later, with Mothership and now Vulture and Dreamboat. And I mean, to your point, as rad as it is to receive those like best vegan or best vegetarian nods, like the ones that really get us going, like you named us Restaurant of the Year 1 year, not vegetarian restaurant of the year, like Restaurant of the Year. And that like made us tear up because it was like, that's what we've really been going for. Or like with Mothership, the Esquire, like one of the best bars in America, no V word required for that. Like just one of the best bars in America.
What's that? Come on, come on. It would be the same way.
And it's those skewers, those tempeh skewers. I must say, the barbecue tempeh skewers. Those have done work for the establishment to like.
Do you still do the strudels?
So we did those at brunch for a little while. They've recently, I don't know, I think probably about 2 or 3 years ago, we took them off.
I'm kind of pissed off about that.
They're good.
We're going to need to talk.
Again, I think what happened is like we appreciated them, but I think when you walk into Kindred, there is this like indulgence, this kind of rebelliousness that sets in, and you want to crush like a breakfast sandwich.
Yeah, I could see that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or
I
get some like
sauce all over it.
Yeah, some the potatoes we do. You know,
yeah,
like,
that's
Keep bringing
true.
these potatoes up.
All right.
I need them.
We are going to move on because we're up on time. I want to mention that dish though because I absolutely flambéed it, hand torched it right beforehand.
Still
this
cold.
is a baked Alaska.
Yeah, on the dinner menu, we have at Vulture,
get it.
we have a pretty large dessert menu and a pretty large dessert drink menu. This is definitely the best seller because it comes out, we torch it tableside. Pistachio ice cream, chocolate ice cream, vanilla ice cream, all made in house. And then we put it over an almond cake, then cover that in an aquafaba based meringue, and then torch it tableside.
Oh, that's really good.
I like aquafaba based meringue better than regular meringue.
Okay, so explain to aquafaba is garbanzo, right?
It's the liquid that comes out of a garbanzo bean can.
Yeah.
And it sounds crazy. And we're now using it in cocktails as like an egg white
Yeah, when
replacement.
you would have that egg white in a cocktail on the top. Yeah.
And there's a lot of bartenders out there, just like you, Jackie, that say, hey, we prefer this to eggs because there's like, you would think it would maybe have an odor to it. It has no odor to it.
Yep.
But you know from like opening up a can, it's kind of gelatinous, and therefore when you whip it up, it whips up.
Yeah.
So
That is
Rules. I wouldn't even know that was an ice cream. It's incredible.
I know. Well, yeah, I would say this: the plant-based ice cream arts have come a long way.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah.
there's Chivico 1845 has a pistachio gelato that's vegan, and it is so effing good.
yeah, this is oat milk based, and
Yeah.
we make it in house.
Oh, so good. All right. So that's your story. Hey, thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Kindred, 10 years ago, brand new Dreamboat that just opened up. Vulture in the back. Come as you are. Or come on a big date because there's 18 special occasions that just happened. It's not surprising, is absolutely killing it. And it's kind of making a plant-based revolution over in University Heights because Plumeria is right over there, which
true.
is it's a Thai food restaurant that has been plant-based for a long time. One of my favorites. And Mothership over in South Park. What's next? I know you're doing something else. Or you not. You just opened up 2 restaurants at the same time because you're a psycho.
There are some secret things in the works, but they're a ways
Secret
out.
things for that
They're a
reason.
ways out. We still, there's a lot of fun stuff that we're doing at Vulture.
Bullshit. Not a liar. He just won't tell us. That's bullshit.
That's bullshit. That's lying. It's fine. It's fine. It's a friendly lie. It's a friendly lie.
Right.
Not ready yet, but we also have our work cut out for us on Park Boulevard, just like adapting kind of what we do. There's so much fun stuff we're doing there for the first time, like with Dreamboat doing daytime and coffee. And we haven't had much time to chat about Dreamboat, but it's a little gem of a place with like breakfast and really good espresso and
phenomenal
tonics
latke,
and
which you
latke,
have
yeah.
smoked potatoes in that latke,
Yeah.
like a fire roasted smoked potatoes. It is fantastic.
Yeah. So whether it's that or we're kind of learning how to have a more robust wine program at Vulture. So, I remember with Kindred, it felt like it took a good 9 months for that restaurant
For sure.
to be
It's a
like
gestation.
what was like it was meant to be. And
Yeah.
I don't think we'll need 9 months at Vulture, but it definitely feels like we need a good like 3-4 months to kind of
there's a
really
reason-
hone it in, so that's really where the attention is right
There's a reason why there's parental leave. You know what I mean? You need a few months with that newborn,
It's true.
to coddle it,
No, I get it.
to burp it.
I like that.
Do you remember when I dropped you off food?
I
after-
don't. I barely
Did
remember.
you keep them alive?
He was so sweet. So they sent
love
me,
this.
him and his wife just sent me, sent us like a whole care package of food from Kindred. It was
I dropped you off some. I mean, I think we were like 4 months. We were 4 months ahead of you.
Yeah.
So you knew.
And I didn't know until I knew. Like I had friends who had babies, and it was almost like you guys will figure that out, and I'll see you when you can hang out
Nobody
afterwards.
knows until they know.
And then when you're there, that just life shattering vulnerability and all that. And we were talking about some business thing that you were still trying to work. And I was just like, dude, I have a restaurant. Let me just say, like, I felt like it was kind of like a karmic duty too, especially for friends that had kids before I had a kid and I didn't know. So
I've apologized to people.
So I have too.
That was the blink twice period of my life.
I know, and you've done it before, and I bet you forgot because it had been a little while. You have a teenager, and then you had a baby, and you're probably like, "What the fuck?" So you did God's work, Kory, and helping to keep them fed and alive.
I owed it. I owed it to parents.
My God, it was so great. It was so great because we literally. I was working 21 hours a day, and it was. I remember, and I'll tell you. I'll admit this live on air. There was I always thought. That I would never, when I heard about shaken baby syndrome, I always thought, I'm like, what fucking psychos would ever shake their baby? I cannot believe anybody would ever do that. I remember one night, 3 a.m., I haven't slept in like 7 days, and I remember I could not get Jasper to go down. I couldn't get him to stop crying. And I literally had to put him down.
Yeah.
I had to put him down.
They tell you to do that.
And walk away and take a breath. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to shake a baby.
They tell you to do that because they know and because it's a natural.
Oh my God.
A natural frustration thing,
I
which is hard to say and admit, right?
Every parent has been there.
Oh my God. It's like, I went, oh boy, weird feeling.
Eject.
And that's why we need food delivery.
The point being,
To be real.
a community member, and this is what you always been about, good about, like, just, I don't know, inviting people in and taking care of people and like giving a shit. This is why I've always liked you. Send me some food. So this is Kory from Kindred. You don't have one place that people can find you. It's just at Mothership, at Kindred, at Bar Kindred.
You say pretty offline. I respect that about you.
Yeah, he does say
like you're online,
like
you lurk, but you personally stay.
I don't know. I love communicating through the spaces.
I respect that.
And it's also because I think we now have like 120 people that are behind these like harebrained ideas.
Yeah.
And it's like, at some point, it's what's so beautiful about starting restaurants is that at some point you're like a fan of things that people are like, at some point, like you it becomes its own thing. It becomes its own identity. And there are other people adding themselves into it. And it doesn't feel like yours anymore, or only yours anymore, I should say. So
it's an ecosystem.
So
or
I don't
an
like
organism.
to get just the personal credit for it, because oftentimes I feel like I'm a big fan of what the team is doing inside there.
That's a beautiful way of expressing it. I become a fan of the people that are doing the work that's
how I feel
started.
about it.
You may have started it. You opened up the house, but then so many people came in and did so much great work that you're almost standing, not on the sidelines. You're obviously actively working all the time, but you're like just kind of in the audience. Be like, okay, I got the plumbing, I got the paychecks, I got this.
It's like parenting.
I was going to say there's probably a parenting analogy there too.
Right?
Sure.
And an ecosystem, like you're just watching everything grow and progress around you with your nucleus. It's a beautiful thing. That's very cool.
Well, that's a beautiful thing to end on. All right, now to get some. Let's see. Where are you eating? Every week we tell you guys like the favorite things we've eaten in this week. I have not done shit this week because of Del Mar Wine and Food. So I'm just going to let you guys tell everybody.
Food.
Yeah, go ahead. Jackie, you start.
All right, Sunday's ice cream on Convoy. I'm going to be totally honest. I don't know when it opened, but it appears to be about a year or so old.
What's the name of it?
Sundays.
Okay.
But not Sundae. Sunday, like the day, is how it's spelled. And it's in the same shopping center right on Convoy, that Friend House Korean, which is my favorite spot for dolsa bibimbap.
Also one of the oldest. That was basically one of the first families that helped start Convoy. Yeah.
And Aqua Spa, which is the like OG Korean, like OG day spa where you go and you get naked, the fluorescent lights, the plastic. Anyone? No, just me? Okay.
Just like what you're going to be doing in Vulture.
Exactly. And so it's the Eyes Wide Shut version. Anyway, so Sunday's ice cream, it appears to be open for like a year or so, maybe more, but they just have really good, and they call it this themselves, Asian inspired flavors. And so they've got all kinds of different tea flavored ice creams, which are kind of my favorite always. I love tea flavored anything, be it perfume, ice cream, or tea. But like specifically their matcha is just it's earthy. It tastes like matcha. They didn't load it with sugar. They didn't load it with anything else. It is what it is. And they warn you, like, it's really, really, really earthy is the word that they use. it's just it's dirty and gnarly and it's perfect.
I'm not
It's-
worthy of matcha yet. I still
It is
can't
the
do it
perfect
unless
thing.
it's loaded with sweetness. I can't do it.
Okay, then you'll
I
really
just-
hate this.
I-
I think it's perfect
okay.
and beautiful. I
And
bought a
that's,
whole plant.
I see that as a failure on my own behalf.
It's the
I
best
just
one in
can't
town.
do
They
it.
also have a black
Yeah.
sesame, which I think is the best black sesame ice cream in town. Like Stella Jean's Pot Pie has a really, really good vegan one that's a coconut ice cream bake.
They
But I
do.
have to
Yeah.
say, like this one, they put condensed milk in it, and it's just. And then when you do it with
Condensed
the matcha,
milk is the aquafaba of milk.
and it balances the earthiness of the matcha and the
like
black
it.
sesame. So personal bias, my two favorite ice cream flavors are black sesame and matcha. So there we go. But Sundays, it's amazing. They're open every day.
God,
There's a line.
I've been cooking with toasted sesame oil all the time now.
the best.
Oh,
It's so good.
Oh my!
It's my favorite flavor.
God.
Sesame, anything.
I'm with you on
Bagels,
that.
ice cream.
I have to put a little bit of toasted
Candies.
sesame oil in anything I
Those
cook.
little sesame
Yeah.
candies, the chewy ones. Anyway,
Okay.
I love them all.
What about you? Place to start your own.
I'm going to mention the garlic stir fry at Bon Thai. Give a little love to University
Bon
Heights.
Thai is fantastic.
It's so good.
It's
and
teeny tiny.
yeah, and at one point, well, and now they're moving next door to the place that was Johnston's and was originally Small Bar.
Small Bar.
Yeah, and I mean,
It's about
talk
time.
about fun like Kismet community stuff, dude. Like just kind of on a whim when I heard that was happening, through a local broker, Nate Benedetto. I'm sure
Yeah.
you know. I said, hey, just in case they don't need that small bar liquor license, like we need one over at Vulture. I'm assuming they want it, and
Yep.
it turns out they did not need that liquor license, and we were able to purchase it from them. And now the small bar liquor license is actually what is Vulture's liquor
shit.
license.
That's actually the
So there's
coolest
been
thing
like
ever.
some neighborhood sharing there, like including Johnston's being a part of that, who also John owns Park and Rec,
Yeah.
in between us.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of neighborhood love happening
cool
there.
legacy.
Well,
Yeah.
did you try to convince them not to keep the liquor license? Because that feels like that
You're
would have
like,
been
that's
good
money.
for them.
That's like
Yeah, but it's also in San Diego especially too. I mean, they cost a pretty penny. So if it's not
Yeah,
crucial to
that's
what you're
true.
trying to do,
Yeah.
that's like someone like me is willing to, expend some money for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and we needed it. Like
Yeah.
we had no
Right.
liquor
I forget what
license,
it's
so
saying.
we had no choice. And so the fact that it could also come from the neighborhood was also really cool and
So
kismet.
Bon Thai garlic
Yeah.
noodles,
The garlic stir fry.
garlic stir fry.
Yeah, I get it with fried tofu.
Okay. And
Yeah.
then mine, I guess I'll just throw it out again because I said this on the podcast when you weren't here. You were up smoking weed in Humboldt. You're all good. With my college roommate. Little Lion is now open for dinner.
Oh, I am so fucking excited. Sorry to hijack this, but I even commented on their Instagram post about it. Dinner with a bunch of exclamation
That's
points,
amazing.
'cause
I did
couldn't
not
even
know
come
that.
up with more words.
But they're like, it's one of my like if you know Anne-Marie Coulon, you know the Coulon sisters, they're just badass people.
Yes.
And they give a shit and they're just nice, down to earth, they care about quality, but they're easy, they're not the least pretentious people in the world. And so
Their places, that place just so much like soul.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
it's so real.
But they're
Play-
known
I
for
don't know, it's
brunch,
just
but real
formidable.
heads know. Pre-COVID, their dinner was, it just
And
slapped. That was
it's
the
this
thing.
tiny little box of a bistro, right on the edge of the world, because right before you get to Sunset Cliffs, right before you can go to dinner, go to early dinner then, and then we'll do a sunset walk along the cliffs, and your life is so much better. So
Wow.
they are open for
Very
dinner
cool.
again. We are throwing a dinner party. We have a little secret society, just friends and friends dinner supper club that we do. Oh shit, I don't know. Quarterly. We said we're going to do it monthly. There's no way. We're just too busy.
Yeah.
But we're going to do that supper club there, and that's going to kind of
Very
kick
cool.
off there. Anyways, go to Little Line. Kory, thank you so much for coming in.
All right, but before you do your
Yes.
outro, I just want to thank you both for doing this. I listen to the podcast all the time. I always tell you this when we're chatting, just like we're really lucky to have you guys shining that spotlight on San Diego. Like
Thank you,
you all get me excited about what's happening in the city, and people like me in the city really need you all, and you understand it, and you cherish it, and we're all better for it. So
I appreciate
thank
you so
Thank you to both of
goddamn
you.
much, because at the end of the day, when you do something, you get your head down on it, and you're just excited about it. You don't know if people appreciate it, so I appreciate
Yeah.
you so
Yeah.
much.
We have fun.
Hey, look, it's a community. The only way culture is built, I've always said this too, is that there's we do in a different way. There's makers and there's storytellers, and you have to have both.
Yeah.
You know, you have to have, and whether it's marketing or if it's media or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know, if
mean,
you
people
do
talking
something
about it.
and no one tells its story.
Yeah,
If
there's
a
not like
tree
real time
falls in the
documenting.
woods.
Right.
Yeah.
Then,
right.
then a culture isn't built. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, unless you just are so hands on, like everybody can just come witness this thing. So ideally, that's what we translate. Anyways,
Well, we're lucky to have your passion.
I appreciate.
Yeah.
I've got
Yeah.
way more passion now. I've had 2.5 margaritas.
Well, I was going to say the
And
thing
the fact
that
that I
I'm
thought they were
missing.
margaritas.
I was going to
And
say, all right, they have done their job. You called them a margarita.
I was going to say,
They
first of
have
all,
done
not
their job.
margaritas. Second of all, I am crushing you guys, and you are not joining me on this journey.
Hey, Julia, get us out of here. We'll see you next week.